Mark Ells, and I live in Centerville. I didn't grow up in Barnstable, so coming to Cape Cod certainly carried all of that image of the Cape and the history that we have here in Massachusetts. Certainly, I think that the memories that I have are. As a child, I actually used to come to a family, last name of Smith, over on the avenues in West Hyannisport. I used to come down with their son and stay in the summertime. They had a home in July. So it was interesting that when I did come to Barnstable and ultimately buy a home, I lived right up the street from where I used to come as a kid and vacation. We used to go to Craigville Beach in the summer, and then we used to ride down to Main Street on our bikes and play miniature golf on Main Street and just enjoy all that the Cape offered. So in living here now, I think what I recognize most about the Cape is that environment and that opportunity to have a very good quality of life. Whether you like the outdoors or whether you want to participate in the activities, it's unique here. Barnstable's unique, and what it offers our residents and our visitors and our businesses is unique. And so I think that's probably the memories that I had as a kid were just reinforced when I moved here and have been able to both live here and work here. So it's been a great opportunity. Graduated from Chelmsford High School in 1980. I lived there my entire life, and my mom still lives in Chelmsford. So I went from Chelmsford High School to Norwich University and spent 4 years at Norwich. It's a military college in Vermont, studied engineering there. Upon graduation in 1984, I got a job opportunity with a engineering consulting firm in Falmouth and moved to the Cape and have been here ever since. Well, I was working in private consulting until 1989, and it was probably late 88 that I began looking around for opportunities. I was looking for something. I was, at that point, a project manager in doing civil environmental engineering projects for a company. And I began looking. I saw that the town of Barnstable needed a senior project manager to do environmental engineering projects. Having been in the field, I knew that Barnstable was recognized statewide for their leadership in environmental issues and resource protection. So I became very interested. I got an interview with the Department of Public Works and interviewed in the spring of 1989. And in the fall of '89, I was hired to be the senior project manager for the town. Tom Mullen was the head of the department, and Bob O'Brien was the assistant. I can say that I still work today with Bob and see him, sometimes every day. And Bob probably is certainly professionally and personally, one of the people that I'm closest to in the organization and as a friend. And so that in itself has been just a wonderful experience. But Bob interviewed me, Bob hired me, and I worked under him and Tom. Well, my wife is Christina, and we've been married for 20 years, and we have 6 children. My oldest is going to be 20, and my youngest is 10. They are all born on Cape Cod, and actually Lily and Lucy weren't born on Cape Cod. Elizabeth, Caroline, Ted, and Harry were born on Cape Cod, and but they have all grown up on Cape Cod, and that's our family. I do. What's that like? I do. Oh, it's wonderful. It's what you want those opportunities for your children in whatever direction they choose, if that's what they choose, that's what you want for your children. It's exciting. Elizabeth is at Norwich University, my alma mater, and she's studying engineering and doing very well. She's a collegiate swimmer and very involved in the school and its government, and as she was here in Barnstable High School. She was very involved here in our community, in our youth commission, and on various committees and other activities at our high school. Caroline did dual enrollment from Barnstable High School as a senior, so in essence she was at Cape Cod Community College doing her senior year. It was a wonderful experience. The community college is a great opportunity for our young people as they move either in their latter years of high school or into their first years of college. It was wonderful. Caroline got to have that opportunity, a very positive experience, and she'll be heading off to Merrimack College in the fall to be sports medicine, and again, another swimmer, and she'll be swimming up there at Merrimack. And the other four are in various levels, high school, and I'll have a couple at BIS and one left at BUES in the fall. So. Well, I told you as a kid I used to come down here and be in West Hyannisport area, and told you where we frequented as young people. I think we've seen tremendous growth through different periods of time. Certainly from the 70s to now, there's been a lot of residential growth, and there's been business growth and expansion as well. So I think the challenges that we see here are to manage the change that occurs in a way that maintains that quality of life that I described and that I envisioned and that now I get to experience, because that's why our residents and our visitors come here, and that's why our businesses are successful here. So we don't want to ever lose that balance that we need to have. We need to have growth. We need to have revenues to be able to support those services and those programs that our population want and need. And so that's a pretty big challenge to make, because we are unique in a sense. It's not like we're any other town. We're the town of Barnstable, and we are unique, and we have so many resources for all that I've described, our residents, our visitors, and our businesses, and we want to maintain that. Wherever my family is absolutely my favorite place. We'll go down to the beach early in the morning for a quiet moment. Sometimes my wife and I will walk right in the area. I live over on Craigville Beach Road, or we'll go to the beach for a short time before things get busy. Again, I speak about the resources we have. My children and I spend a lot of times on the water, both salt and fresh, fishing and shellfishing and recreating. So I think those are my favorite places. To say one, I enjoy them all, whether we're down at Calmus on the jetty watching boats come in and out, or if we're on the north side at the flats at low tide, seeing what's happening out there relative to all sorts of activities. We like being outdoors, and that's a big part of our life. That's a big part of living on Cape Cod. And but we also try to take advantage of a lot of the other resources that we have here as well. No, not since I've lived on Cape Cod. I have a boat, and it's in Vermont, and it's more for lake fishing. So it's at my dad's house in Vermont. I golfed actively through college and during my earlier years on the Cape. I don't do it now. I just don't have the time to participate any longer. Oh, probably when I first saw my wife. It's where I met her. So, I mean, professionally, there's been so many very positive experiences that I've had, starting right off with meeting Bob O'Brien and Tom Mullen, and working with so many good people here, achieving a lot of what we've been able to achieve in the various roles that I've had the privilege of playing here in the town. Opening up facilities like our youth center and seeing improvements to our schools and to our beach facilities and just all of that. Use the word exciting from a professional standpoint. That's what we're all about. We're about being able to maintain and provide the services and programs that make our community great. So every time we achieve one of those things, it's exciting. It's truly an achievement, and and then we go on to do the next thing, and that's what makes working in Barnstable such a unique experience for somebody who's in this profession. We're leaders, we're innovators. We've got a lot of programs here. I mean, very few communities have the number of programs and the number of resources and the number of assets that our community has and maintains for the most part well, so that, again, our residents, our visitors, and our businesses can utilize those and enjoy them, and they are part of who we are. Not surprised, no. I guess I have great expectations for Barnstable. And the nice thing about our community is we're not afraid to try to achieve those high expectations. That's kind of where we're positioned. So I don't know that I drive around and I say that. If I drive around, sometimes I think about some of the future needs that we may have. I mean, we're looking at protecting our water and water resources. We're looking at making sure we have the best education for our young people. We're looking at how we might create a better working environment so that business can prosper and therefore have more families staying here. We're looking at our population as it ages and making sure that our community is appropriate so that they can enjoy those years here. So. No, I'm not surprised at what I see. It's more thinking about, okay, how are we going to get to that next goal that we have? Well, I first of all, it was an honor that Tom chose me to be the assistant town manager. He could have chosen anybody from anywhere, for all the reasons that we know. Relative to our town and the opportunity that it presents, to live here and to work here. And so he has been extremely supportive of me professionally and personally. And, I greatly appreciate that. As far as moving forward as the town manager, I feel the same way about the council selecting me. I was honored to be a finalist, and I will do my best to serve as the next town manager here in this community. I'm looking forward to it very much. I think all of what I've done for the last 27 years here in the town, starting as a project manager, doing a lot of environmental engineering, to becoming an administrator in public works and then in the town manager's office, has led me to this point in my career. And I'm certainly ready to be a town manager, and again, I think it's a privilege to serve here in Barnstable as the town manager. Well, certainly the priorities that are set through the strategic planning that our council does as the leadership, the elected body that leads our community, are critical in moving us forward. I think that as town manager, you will see a different person in me because I haven't played this role before. I think what you will see that's consistent is who I am and the style that I have brought to each of my successive positions that I've held. Everything changes every day. Our community is changing as we speak. a half decade ago, we wouldn't be focusing as much on issues like substance abuse that we are today. So that's just one example of many that we need to make sure that our leadership and certainly our management leadership has the skills and has the professional staff to address whatever those challenges are in a way that could change our community in an unanticipated way. So I can't say that it's just going to be the way it's always been, because I know the environment I work in, and for my career, both private and public, it has always been changing, and it's never been the same year to year. And if you look in 5-year windows, most of the time it's been significantly different. So I think you've got to have a talented management team in place with good leadership, and you'll be able to address whatever confronts you. We have that here in Barnstable, so it's an exciting opportunity for me. Oh, it's our people. It's our people, whether it's our, it's our community here. And that involves all of us. I think, we also have resources here in Barnstable in the sense of our water, our salt water, our fresh water, our marinas and beaches and woodland, and our business community and our villages, and we have all of that, but our true strength, in my opinion, are the people who either live here, work here, and visit here. And that's the key. And within the organization, I think we have some of the best people that are out there. And I don't just say that because I've worked in it and I continue to. I look around at organizations nationally, certainly regularly within the state, and I truly believe that. And so we are greatly benefited by having that available to our community as we move forward with our priorities. I think Cape Cod will always be a part of them. I know that, and certainly Barnstable will be, because they grew up here. They lived, all of them have lived their entire lives here. I haven't had that conversation with them saying, well, when you move back to Barnstable, I have to let them make that decision on their own. But certainly, I wouldn't discourage looking at Barnstable. They know that they've come through a great school system. They know that they've enjoyed our beaches and our ponds and our recreational facilities. They know our community and how they've been an active part of it. So certainly, as they grow into being adults, they're going to reflect on that. And if they don't live here in Barnstable, they're going to look for that in a community wherever they are. And I think that's a good thing. But ultimately, it'll be their decision. My name's Mark Ells, and I live in Centerville.